The car plunged deeper into the forest, bouncing violently over rough terrain. Ada and Kemi clung to each other, their screams echoing in the cold night. "Where are you taking us?" Ada shouted, her voice breaking with fear. The officer laughed, a chilling sound that made their blood run cold. "You were choosing, you can't escape your destiny." Kemi looked around the car, searching for anything she could use as a weapon. Her hands trembled as she spotted a flashlight tucked in the side. She touched Ada and whispered, "When I grab it, open the door." Ada hesitated. The car was still moving fast, but there was no other choice. She nodded. Kemi grabbed the flashlight and swung it hard at the officer's head. The man shouted in pain and the car swayed violently. "Now!" Kemi screamed. Ada yanked the door open and the girls jumped out, rolling out onto hard, cold ground. Pain shot through their bodies, but they forced themselves to get up and run. The officer staggered out of the car, holding his head. "You can't escape. You belong to us," he growled. Ada and Kemi ran blindly through the forest, the officer's footsteps crashing behind them. The trees seemed to close in, their branches clutching at the girls. "We have to hide," Ada panted, grabbing Kemi's arms and pulling her behind a large tree. They bent low, trying to steady their breath. The officer's footsteps slowed, his voice echoed through the woods. "You can't run forever. The others are coming for you." Ada peeked around the tree and saw shadowing figures moving through the forest. More coyotes. Kemi gripped Ada's arm. "We are surrounded. What do we do?" Ada's mind raced. She spotted a small cave entrance nearby, half hidden by vines. "Over there," she whispered. The girls crawled into the cave, their hearts pounding. The air inside was damp and cold, but it felt safer than the open forest. "Do you think they will find us?" Kemi whispered. Ada shook her head, trying to stay calm. "We just need to wait until they leave, then we will find them." Suddenly, a low growl echoed from the depth of the cave. The girls froze. "What was that?" Kemi whispered, her voice trembling. Before Ada could answer, glowing red eyes appeared in the darkness. A massive shadow moved towards them. Ada and Kemi stumbled backward, their back pressing against the cave wall. The creature stepped into the dim light, a terrifying beast with sharp fangs and claws that gleamed like steel. The girls screamed, but their cries only seemed to anger the creature. The coyotes' voices echoed outside the cave. "Come out, girls! You can't hide forever." The beast growled louder, turning its attention towards the cave entrance. Ada's mind raced. The coyotes didn't know what was inside the cave. If they come in, the beast would attack them first. "Stay quiet," Ada whispered to Kemi. The coyotes entered the cave, their flashlight cutting through the darkness. "Find them," one of them shouted. The beast growled, its massive body lunging towards the intruders. Screams filled the air as the coyotes were torn apart in the chaos. Ada grabbed Kemi's hands. "Now, our chance! Run!" The girls ran out of the cave, the sounds of the beast and the coyotes faded behind them. As they reached the edge of the forest, the first light of dawn began to break through the trees. They collapsed on the side of the road, gasping for air. A passing truck stopped and the driver jumped out. "What happened? Are you okay?" Ada and Kemi couldn't speak, they just nodded, their faces pale and bodies trembling. The driver helped them into the truck and started the engine. "Don't worry, you are safe now," he said kindly. But as the truck drove away, Ada couldn't shake the feeling that the nightmare wasn't over. She glanced back at the forest, half expecting to see the glowing red eyes of the beast watching them. For a moment, she did. The truck sped down the road, leaving the dark forest behind. Ada and Kemi sat silently, their bodies bruised and their minds overwhelmed by what they had just survived. The driver glanced at them in the rear view mirror. Are you girls okay? You girls are lucky to be alive. This forest has strange stories, he said, shaking his head. Ada's eyes stayed fixed on the window, her heart pounding. She could still feel the weight of the officer's sinister smile, the cuttish chant, and the growl of the beast in the cave. Thank you, Kemi whispered, her voice weak. The driver smiled kindly. You will be safe now. Don't worry. I'll take you straight to the police station in the next town. The guests exchanged a glance. The police? The last police officer who promised safety had turned to deliver them to the court. They didn't know who to trust anymore. As the truck passed a clearing, Ada caught a glimpse of something in the tree. Her blood ran cold. A shadow figure stood there, his glowing red eyes locked on her. Stop the truck! Ada screamed. What? Why? The driver asked, startled. Kemi grabbed Ada's arm. What's wrong? Ada pointed to the trees, but the figure was gone. I saw something, the driver sighed. You've been through a lot. Your mind is probably playing tricks on you. Ada wasn't too sure. She sank back into her seat, clutching Kemi's hands. Minutes later, the truck reached the outskirts of the town. The driver stopped at a small police station. This is where I will leave you, he said. Ada and Kemi hesitated but knew they couldn't stay on the road forever. They thanked the driver and entered the station. The officer on duty listened to their story with wide eyes. You girls are lucky to be alive, he said. We will contact your families immediately. Relief began to wash over them as the officer brought them food and blankets. For the first time in hours, they felt a glimmer of hope. Please like, share, and subscribe for more interesting stories.